It is 3:43 p.m. September 20th, Saturday, 2025. You know when let me just say, I feel that lately I've been experiencing kind of like facing the things that I used to be ashamed of. And I've spoken about this to a few close people in my life where it's like it's been challenging to release certain parts of me because I surrounded myself with people who kept reminding me that I used to be a certain way. And especially being in school, working and like just living my life and having new experiences, it's really taught me to be a lot more kind to myself. And I do feel that sometimes I've been very, very hard on me, especially because now I'm not as hard on me. And it's like by having that experience, I've been able to see the contrast in that. So this is a video log. Once again, disclaimer, I'm just sharing my experience. So thank you for being here if you're watching. I was like journaling last night a little bit, and I really felt something that I honestly feel that many people could relate to. So I kind of wanted to share that because what does it say? Yeah, like, when you like feel really sad, I was just reminding myself what I wrote. I don't want to say it word for word. But when you like feel really sad about something, and you're kind of like, it's like, oh, what a shame type feeling. And you kind of hold on to that because you really desired it, like you really wanted it to be a certain way, but it just didn't end up like that. And I feel like hand in hand, those kinds of experiences have taught me that maybe I'm just being really like controlling or greedy. And it's like this very thin line of letting myself desire the things that I desire, right? And also being very discerning on who I share this with and how I interact with people, and taking my time with that. Because especially when it comes to, I'm sure some people can relate to this too, it's like when you're in survival mode, it's pretty much, from my perspective, the way that I see it sometimes is, it's like you're going so fast all the time because there is fear, yes, but you're so used to getting shit done as soon as possible because, the fear of punishment or like fear of judgment, and not being able to show up right away, like in that, when it comes to that, like the speed of things. And so I've been experiencing something lately where I'm like, I'm really noticing how it's like almost like a it's like how do I even fucking describe that? It's like when two things exist at the same time, it's that. And so I feel myself kind of like the old part of me be like, oh, like I want to do this, I want to do that. And then it's like, well, right now I am here, and like, what can I do? Like what is available to me right now? What am I willing to do? And it's kind of like letting go of old things and also recognizing things about myself even now. It's like I was feeling kind of like yesterday, I was feeling kind of a mix of like jealousy, I guess. I don't know if I would describe that as jealousy, but it was an inkling of that. And I don't think I've really experienced that like truly in person, like without like my own mind creating these scenarios in my head, like like it was actively happening. And when that happened, I like instantly, my face just got so red and I started to like sweat. And so I am very spiritual, and I also study psychology, so my background is just like contributional mental things that affect our ability to discern from our intuition and ego. And also, like, I really highly value my connection with my body. And so I try my best to learn about things that my body's telling me spiritually when you release heat from your body, you're releasing like almost like unsaid pent up grief and anger, you know? And sometimes they say like when you sneeze that's you releasing grief and stuff, but I really do feel like in that moment I just was like, I don't think I've ever been around someone where my face was so red. Like I was blushing so much, but I'm so glad that I was wearing makeup because I'm sure that no one could fucking tell. But it's funny because I find that that part of me used to be something that I was so like not happy about, you know, like I just didn't like that part of me. And in spirituality, it's your shadow, and it's the part of yourselves that you don't accept or like, or the parts of you that you judge or repress and deny. And I wanted to share this one thing that I recognized because I did mention in my last video that I feel like I'm growing to like this person, but I'm being not like cautious, but I am taking my time. And I do feel that that's probably one of the most different things about my choices lately, is that I'm willing to put in the time, you know, not like rush things or jump to the gun. Even if I have like my own like desires, it doesn't negate the fact that there's an actual reality that I get to live. And I was kind of sharing this with my cousin recently about how like I don't want to create stories because it's something that I wish to experience, you know, and I want to let this person kind of show up in their own ways and not have those expectations. Even if I have a desire, as long as I follow how I feel, not be controlled by how I feel, but truly just to be honest and authentic, is to like actually admit and experience my emotions. In other words, I was recognizing that there was a past experience that was coming up. Like the way that I was responding to this past experience was when my ex in the past got with this person that was hanging out with them while we were together. And I like never, it like never clicked in my mind that like I was so bothered by that, which is crazy because like obviously I was bothered by that, but I mean this in a way of like, I recognize that that built insecurity. I built insecurity from that experience, you know, like I didn't let that choice be the other person's choice. I started to blame myself. I started to say like certain things like, and it's crazy because there's a lot of different detailed stories that I could talk about where like I knew intuitively that our connection was distancing, but I was just being stubborn, really. And I really feel that that kind of like, when that happened, I built this kind of like thought or mindset where I was like, well, you already knew all along. You're the one who didn't follow your intuition. So it's like, it's really just me and you here, you know, it has nothing to do with this person. But in reality, I was responding to their actions. And so when that whole jealousy thing was happening, I was like, oh my God, like what the fuck? And like my face was so, like, even talking about it right now, bro, is it hot? It's hot. It's kind of hot right now. Like, and I don't want to deny the fact that I like spending time with them, but I also do want to be very like present with the fact that I have things that I need to prioritize, like my sleep, like my studies, you know, and my practices, my clients and stuff like that, you know, like I have my own things that I can get into the zone for. But when it comes to this, you know, obviously it involves me and another person, and I can't make choices for them. And so I thought it was interesting because I was like, wow, I don't really feel like I really forgave myself for that experience, you know, like I feel that sometimes, for many times over these past few years, as I've gotten like more and more adept, I guess, to like tap into my intuition and like really trust my intuition and have faith in things just unfolding in the ways that they're meant to be, you know, because we all have free will. And you know, some spiritualists may not agree with that, but like I truly believe that our free will affects everything. That's why it's such a versatile and diverse way to experience life, is let people choose things, you know, for themselves. And I actually had this conversation with a friend recently where I was contemplating whether I should speak up about something that's been bothering me within a friendship. And she kind of shared her experience and said, like, you know, I felt the same in that situation, but I realized that their actions were actually speaking louder than words. And I didn't feel the need after recognizing that to explain myself, to ask for clarity. And typically, I'm like the type who wants to inquire and ask for clarity and affirm things. But in reality, I've noticed that when I do that, I already am confirmed the things that I like, that are already known to me, but that I'm just not willing to acknowledge or admit are there. And so in that case, I like decided, like, you know what, like, I need to adjust myself. In other words, I need to adjust so that I can focus and show love to myself and be in love with my own reality, as well as like respect myself, you know? Like, I know that this person doesn't mean harm, but that doesn't mean that I'm not feeling harm from their actions, behaviors, words. And so, you know, obviously if the time presents, then I will speak up about it, but it's just like a long distance thing, so I don't feel the need to actually like approach that. And it's funny because like I also think of like, you know, psychological terms and like, oh, am I being avoidant, or am I anxiously attaching? And some aspect of me is recognizing that I too am still healing, you know, like in this journey of like unconditioning myself, reconditioning, regulating, and still learning, you know, still learning, making different choices, making an effort to find a different choice for myself that works best for me, right? And it's like in this moment, I really do feel that so much has changed, you know? Like I don't think I've ever studied this much in my fucking life. Like literally, when I was in middle school, high school, and like community college, I definitely did not study this much. And like I had good enough grades. I definitely fell off in junior year, but like I had good enough grades, and I just felt like I didn't need to study. But now I'm recognizing it's not that I necessarily, well, sometimes yes, I do feel like I need to study to know things, but like now I'm really feeling like, oh, I really want to study. I don't think I've ever fucking felt that ever. And the only time that I have is just non-academic stuff. It's more of like my spiritual practices, my like learning about cartomancy, and my building my own relationship with the tarot cards and those kinds of things. Like, you know, like my own passions and the things that I enjoy. And so it's so intriguing to me because like I won't say everything to you guys because I'm kind of excited to see how it goes, but like I realized that ah, gosh, my face is getting red. But like I realized like as much as I might grow to have feelings for this random person that I'm not going to go into details about because privacy, but I realized that I feel the need versus the want, because I sometimes resist the want to show a more soft side of myself, and I feel that now is the time for me to really show up for me and be authentic and to be this soft part of me and let that show, and who knows what's gonna happen type energy, you know? Like I don't want to define this connection, and like sometimes he says things that I'm like, bro, okay, cool. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like not trying to read into it, but like why do you have to keep saying these really nice things to me? And like, oh god, Jesus fucking Christ. And like I was really just thinking about, like, you know how people say on social media, like, oh, like be cringe, you know, like it's all about being cringe and stuff. And like I was kind of like cringing a bit, and then I realized like, oh, okay, cool, this is like exactly the moment where I can accept myself. And like I realized, because okay, just what happened was I was like, I'm gonna speak from my perspective, okay? Because I don't know what the fuck this brat is thinking at all. But like, okay, But I deliberately spoke to them and like, what the fuck did I do here? Jesus. Sorry. I like, I'm like distracting myself before I talk about this. But I deliberately like was talking to this person, and like at some point, I don't know, I feel like I feel like he's just being friendly, but I can't say for sure. And so then I'm like, okay, cool, so maybe I could be a little bit more flirtatious. It's like I'm gauging it a little bit, not to like manipulate this person, but to literally let myself be seen a little bit more, like authentically. And then other times I'm like, well, but you know, everyone goes through their ups and downs in their lives, and I don't want to like be like, oh, they need to be like blah, blah, blah. No, I just like it when they're very interactive with me, and I feel like they are. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like a general thing, because this person is also pretty sociable, is how I'm gonna describe it. But I also don't want the off chance that they see this video to be the reason why they know how I feel. But it's like, I didn't really explicitly say that. Oh my gosh, my face fucking red. I feel it. You know, I'm just gonna let it happen. I don't know what the fuck is going to happen, and I don't think I should care enough to like, because I think that the biggest thing that used to hold me back the most was I cared so much. And I cared so much outside of me. I cared so much outside of me that it would extend so far from me, but I wouldn't take care of myself. And so there was a moment where like, I won't say the details because then this person's gonna know exactly that it's them. But like, they said they're gonna do something and then they didn't do it. And I was like, okay, cool, nice, bye. And so I was like a little upset for a brief moment, but I realized like, no, this works out. I need to go home. It's pretty late. I spent too much time with you. And so now I have to go home and wash up and fucking like go to bed because I'm tired of shit. And I could literally see the dark circles underneath my eyes, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, I'm tired as fuck. And today I woke up at 3:30 again, went back to bed, woke up at 9, and then actually no, I woke up earlier than that, but whatever. And then I literally had food, and I was like hanging out with my dog, and I guess I fucking fell asleep. I just fucking fell asleep, and I'm like, okay, cool. So I was obviously very tired, and the most important thing from all of this is that I'm learning to express a part of me that has been very dormant because I didn't choose to let that part of me be shown. And it's funny because like, I'm not expecting this to be like a whole thing, you know, like, I will say though, but we also work together. Oh, and so that's like my big boundary. I'm like, no, like professionalism, there, always, never, that's a non-negotiable for me. And so that is also prevalent. And I'm also a supervisor and they're not. And so technically I do need to be like professional too. And I don't plan on veering away from that. But I do feel that like, it's just really cool to like finally feel that part of me come through and not feel like, oh my god, like, no, you know, like, don't do it, you know? But, you know, in the past, I do recognize that these people that I would think that slightly was because my intuition was telling me to stay away from them. But, you know, I wasn't listening to my intuition, and so it kind of fucked me. And I got really hurt from both of those experiences. But it's crazy because I was doing really good 2 years ago when it came to this one person, because my intuition was telling me no, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna follow that because fuck this. I'm like literally so fucking, I'm still grieving right now. My friend passed away back then, so I was really in it. I was crying like every fucking morning. It was rough. But I do want to say, like, I thought of Maddie recently, and I was actually reading this poem that I wrote for her, and I realized like, wow, I really love you and I do miss you. And it's September, you know, and her death anniversary is coming up in December, and I know that might seem really far away, but it just makes me kind of like sad. And so I'm trying to not like keep it together, but I am trying to spend time and acknowledge that that's something I'm still processing. And I don't know what's gonna, I don't want to say that I'm gonna process it for the rest of my life, but truly sometimes I do feel like this is a lifelong thing. And it was funny because like I was telling my friends I thought this guy was like flirting with me, and he's like significantly older than me. And I realized of one reason why I wouldn't be attracted to this person. Like I don't feel attracted to this person, but like the one reason why I wouldn't is because there's a higher likelihood that they would die before me, and I would just fucking hate that. Like I think that's probably one of my most human desires, is to die before all of my loved ones, which would be kind of selfish, you know, because then they would have to deal with it and I would be the one who's, you know. But like, gosh, I'm willing to accept whatever unfolds in this life, but that's maybe one of my dark desires, dark wishes, is to die before all my loved ones. What a way to end this video. Anyways, thanks for watching. This is my video log, signing off. 4 or 5 p.m. Gotta go study. I have like 3 fucking quizzes on Monday, and then I have my exams, and then I have my essay due on Tuesday. And I've started it, but like, oh god, it's been so long since I've freaking written an essay. Like, what the fuck? MLA format? Anyways. Thanks for being here. Thanks for allowing me the space to speak, and thank you for being, definitely thank you for being you. Gosh, I don't know why. God, it's really hot. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being alive. And I'm sending you so much love, so much support on your own spiritual journey. Bye, collective.